Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video. My sports Gematria. Gonna go over NBA games for January 30th, Saturday, 2021. We got, I think, 8 games on the board, or 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so let's start with the first one, Blazers and the Bulls. I have my daily numbers on one side, date numerology, Gregorian. Saturday, January the 30th, Hebrew civil and religious. And then on this side is what I call my game numbers. So the way it's structured here is the away team is on top, coach record, season record, head to head between the two teams. Bottom here is the home team, home record, and the coach. So let's crack into this a little bit. Date numerology on the Gregorian. There is 9 date numerology on the Gregorian. If the Trailblazers lose, they can become 9-9 for a season record. Today has 52 date numerology on the Gregorian, and the Bulls with the win can get their 68th all-time head-to-head win against the Blazers. 68 sums to 52 and 124. And 52 also sums to 124. The Bulls with the win would become 3-5 at home for the season. 35. What was the connection there? 35. Oh yeah, duh. 35 sums to 128. This is the 128th regular season head-to-head matchup between these two teams, and Bulls can become 3-5 in the 128th. With that being said, though, those are the numbers in favor of Bulls. We have the 9-9, we have the 68, we have the 35 that connects to 128 regular season head-to-head matchup. What's in favor for the Trailblazers is today does have 72 date numerology. On the Gregorian, 72 sums to 168. If the Bulls lose, their coach would get his 168th regular season loss for his career. The Bulls would get their 11th loss for the season as they become 1-1 head-to-head against the Trailblazers for the season. And then Trailblazers would pick up their 66th regular season head-to-head win against the Bulls. 66th is the 11th triangular number. So that's a pretty good narrative for Blazers. So you can see there's both sides here. Trailblazers, it's their coach's 666th regular season game as a coach for Blazers, and maybe that plays into the 6-6 factor here for the Blazers getting their head-to-head. It is the 137th all-time head-to-head matchup between these two teams. 137 is the 33rd prime number, and 33 sums to 66. So hopefully I've given you enough information on this pick, so you can decide which side you like. The Trailblazers. Do you like the Trailblazers 66, 11, 666, or do you like the Bulls 9-9, 68, and 35? Hopefully I've given you enough information here so you can make a pick. If for whatever reason you want my personal pick, it's always on my Patreon, in writing, underlined, and italicized. It's definitely not required. I'm going based off of the same information here that I'm showing you. So let's go on to the next one. Bucks versus the Hornets. Today does have 36 date numerology on the Gregorian. 36 sums to 55. Either one of these teams can become 5-5. Bucks can be 5-5 on the road. Hornets can be 5-5 at home. However, if Bucks win, they become 5-5 on the road, and they sit on 55 head-to-head losses against Hornets regular season. Today does have 9 date numerology, and Hornets can pick up their 9th win as they become 5-5. An interesting thing about Hornets is we saw this number for the Hornets yesterday. Their coach sat on 116 regular season losses, and it was the 116th all-time head-to-head matchup between the team that Hornets was facing. Well, today is the 116th regular season head-to-head matchup between the Hornets and the Bucks. So I wonder if he's going to sit on that 116 again, 2 days in a row. Hornets, if they do, it's their 20th game for the season, and he can also get his 71st regular season win as a coach for Hornets, 71, the 20th prime number. So I have this light blue here connection for the Hornets coach. That's pretty interesting. On the flip side, though, if the Hornets lose, they become 8-12 for a season record, and 8-12 is an anagram of the number 128, and the Bucks coach can get his 128th regular season win as a coach for the Bucks, as he sits on 46 regular season losses, and Hornets would become 8-12 for a season record and 4-6 at home. Also, it is the 17th day of the 11th month on the Hebrew religious. 1711 is the 58th triangular number. And if the Hornets lose, they would sit on 58 all-time head-to-head wins against the Bucks. So you have a choice to make here. Are you going to go with the anagram 128-46 for the coach of the Bucks? They get that 55, sit on that 55, and Bucks sit on that 58 on the 17th day of the 11th month on the Hebrew? Or are we going to go with this direct 116 for the Hornets, 20th game? Coach gets his 71st, the 20th prime, 9th day numerology, they get their 9th win, and 5-5 goes this way. Hopefully I've given you enough information here so you can decide on what makes sense to you. If not, hopefully there's enough information here that you can add on top of what's already here and come up with the final decision. If for whatever reason you want to see my pick, it's on my Patreon. It's not required, but it's always underlined, italicized, and in writing. Let's get to the next one. Rockets and Pelicans. So same number we've been talking about, number 9 date numerology on the Gregorian. This is the Rockets' 9th away game for this season. With the win, they can become 9-9 for a season record. Today is the 30th day of the Gregorian New Year. The number 30 sums to... Oops, I got that backwards. 40. 40 sums to 30. Today is the 30th day on the Gregorian New Year. Rockets can get their 40th head-to-head all-time win against the Pelicans to go with the 9-9 in their 9th away. But there is a 10 pattern here that's kind of compelling. Rockets lose, they can get their 10th loss for the season. Pelicans would sit on 10 losses for the season, as Pelicans get the 29th all-time head-to-head win against the Rockets, 29 the 10th prime number, and Pelicans would become 1-0 head-to-head against Rockets for the season, like 10. Today does have 36 date numerology on the Gregorian, and the Rockets would become 3-6 on the road, like 36. But with that being said, if the Pelicans lose, they would get their 11th loss for the season. The number 11 is the 5th prime number, and Rockets would get their 5th win in a row. I'm going to go ahead and mark that dark blue. So you got a decision to make. Are you going to go with the really cool 10-29-10 pattern that comes with date numerology at 36? Or are you going to go with the 9 date numerology, 9999, and Pelicans get that 11th loss as Rockets get that 5th win in a row? Rockets would also sit on 5 losses on the road with the win. I'm having a brain fart, sorry. I'm tired right now. So that 5 can be there as well. 53, 5. What I thought was kind of funny, the Pelicans, if the Pelicans won, their coach would be get his 531st regular season win. It has a 5-3 there, and they would become 5-3 at home, but it's a 5-3-1. 5-3, 5-3-1. I don't know. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch. 5-3, 5-3-1, 5-3. I don't know. Well, hopefully this is enough information for you to make your own pick. If not, hopefully you're able to build upon this information and then come up with your own pick. If for whatever reason you want to know who I'm picking, it's on my Patreon page in writing, underlined, and italicized. You don't have to join. It's no big deal. I'm just saying, if that's what you're looking for, that's where it's at. Kings versus the Heat. Today is the 311th day on the Hebrew religious calendar. 311 is the 64th prime number. It's a day leaving 42 left in the Hebrew year. And in the 64th all-time head-to-head matchup between these two teams, the Heat can get their 42nd all-time head-to-head win. 64-42, 311, the 64th prime, a day leaving 42 left. 36 date numerology on the Gregorian. 36 sums to 55. The Heat would become 5-5 at home for the season with the win. Today with 52 date numerology. Kings coach, this is his 337th regular season win, or excuse me, regular season game. 337. Not 337. 68th prime number. 68 sums to 52. He can also get his 52nd regular season loss as a coach for the Kings on 52 date numerology for the Gregorian. On the flip side, we do have 9 date numerology. The 9 has coming up in every single game so far, I believe. 9, 9, 9, 9. Yeah, so every single game so far has a 9 pattern. Will every single one of them hit? It's hard to say. Time will tell. Kings, though, with this 9 pattern, if they get their 9th win on a day with 9 date numerology, they would also get their 23rd all-time head-to-head win against the Heat. 23 is the 9th prime number. Heat would get their 13th loss for the season, as they sit on 41 head-to-head wins against the Kings with the loss. 41 is the 13th prime number. The Heat would get their 6th loss in a row. 13 is the 6th prime number. And Kings, if they win, they would get their 4th win in a row. So you have this 4 and this 6, kind of like 46. Heat would become 4-6 at home with the loss. And Kings coach would sit on 199 regular season losses, the 46th prime number with the win. So are you going to go with the Hebrew calendar here, the 64-42 for the Heat? And the Kings coach gets his 52nd on 52 date numerology. Kings also would become 3-5 on the road with the loss as they end their 3-game win streak, while Heat ends their 5-game lose streak. So there's that 3-5. So this 3-5, 5-3 goes both ways with the 4-6 and the 6-4. 4-6 loss or a 3-5 loss, depending on what side you're on. Kings would sit on 8 wins for the season in their 8th away game with the loss. So again, are you going to go with the Hebrew with the 64-42, 311, 64th prime, 42 left, 52 loss on 52 date numerology, or you're going to go with the 9 pattern, Gregorian 9 date numerology, Kings 9, 23rd win head to head, 23 the 9th prime, and then you have this interesting 13-41, and the number 41 sums to 46 as well. 41 sums to 46 and 35. But 46, 4 and 6. So it's going both ways. You're going to have to decide on what you like best. Hopefully I've given you enough information here to allow you to make a pick. If not, there should be enough information here for you to build upon. If we want to chip away at the Kings just a little bit more, we can say it's the Heat's 19th game. It's the Kings' 19th game. 19 is the 8th prime number. Kings would sit on 8 wins, and they're 8th away with the loss. What else? Or Heat would get their 13th loss. We already went over the 41, the 13th prime. This is the Kings coach's 91st regular season game as a coach for the Kings. 91 is the 13th triangular number. So you have quite the decision here. Good luck with that. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns or comments below. My final pick's always in writing, underlined and italicized on my Patreon. But I've given you enough information here so you can make your own pick that you don't even have to join if you don't want to. Let's go on to the next one. Lakers versus the Celtics. So Lakers, it's the 367th all-time head-to-head matchup between these two teams. 367 is the 73rd prime number. 73 is the 21st prime number. This is the Lakers' 21st game of the season. It's the Celtics' 18th game of the season. 18 sums to 73. So this was meant to be for these guys. One interesting thing though is this is the 293rd regular season head-to-head matchup between these two. 293 is the 62nd prime number. If the Celtics win, they could become 6-2 at home for the season, and their coach would get his 329th win regular season. 329 and 293 are anagrams of each other. And then 293, the 62nd prime, they can become 6-2. On the flip side, though, today does have 52 date numerology on the Gregorian. 52 sums to 92 and 38. This is the Lakers coach's 92nd game regular season as a coach for the Lakers, and the Lakers can pick up their 163rd all-time head-to-head win against the Celtics. 163 is the 38th prime number. Lakers would get their 15th win for the season. 15 sums to 38. It also sums to 124 today with 52 date numerology on the Gregorian. 52 sums to 124 and 38, 92. But to bring it back to the Celtics, if they were to win, they would get their 11th win for the season. 11 sums to 27 and 2 of the 4 base ciphers. It also sums to 99, and we know today has 9 date numerology on the Gregorian. But on the 27 part, Lakers would become 10-3 on the road, losing 3 straight on the road. 103 is the 27th prime number. They would sit on 10 wins. Celtics would become 1-0 head-to-head against the Lakers for the season, like 10. And then, again, the number 11, Lakers coach, he would get his 317th regular season loss. 317 is the 66th prime number. 66 is the 11th triangular number. And he would also sit on 66 wins regular season as a coach for Lakers as he gets his 317th regular season loss overall. The 66 prime, 66 the 11th triangular. Celtics get the 11th win for the season. So you're going to have to decide on what makes the most sense to you. Hopefully I've given you enough information here that you can make a pick. And if not, you should have enough here to build on top of with any information that you want to add to it. And you should be good. If for whatever reason you want to know what I'm picking, join the Patreon. Writing, whatever. That's where the picks are. They're underlined writing. Okay. I know you guys hate me saying that. So Spurs versus Grizzlies. So Grizzlies is interesting. If Grizzlies lose, they become 7-7 for a season record. 77 as the 175th prime number. Stupid. Prime number. 77 sums to 175. I'm so tired right now. 77 sums to 175. And it is the 17th day of the 5th month on the Hebrew civil. Like 175. So if Grizzlies lose, they become 7-7. 77 sums to 175. Hebrew civil, 17th day of the 5th month. 72 date numerology on the Gregorian. Gregorian sums to 42. 42 days left on the Hebrew religious. With the win, the Grizzlies coach can get his 42nd regular season win. Or with the loss, the Grizzlies would become 4-2 on the road. So that goes both ways. Grizzlies could sit on 92 all-time head-to-head losses against the Spurs with the win. Today with 52 date numerology on the Gregorian, 52 sums to 92. The Spurs, though, they can get their 75th regular season head-to-head win against the Grizzlies. Grizzlies, 75. 75 sums to 152, 53, and 55. Today with 36 date numerology. 36 sums to 152, 53, and 55. So they're identical in 3 of the 4 base ciphers. Spurs, it's their 20th game of the season, and they can become 2-0 head-to-head against the Grizzlies with the win, like 20. The thing, though, is they're going to be playing back-to-back games, except the back-to-back is going to be a one-day delay. They'll be playing on Monday and not Sunday. So if we go to Monday's date numerology, the 1st, February the 1st, they're playing 3 games. So with it being the 1st of February, 2-1-1-2, I want to think at the end of this 3-game series, the record is going to be 2-1-1-2. So who wins the second game and who's going to win the third game? And if Spurs win the second game and go 2-0 in their 20th game, their next game would be the 21st game of the season, and it would be on, February the 1st, 2-1, and then they can lose and become 2-1 head-to-head against Grizzlies. And at the same time, it can happen vice versa. If Spurs lose and become 1-1 in the next game on Monday in their 21st game, they could win and become 2-1 head-to-head for the season. So that kind of it's a double-edged sword. But what goes against the Spurs a little bit, I think, is it's the Spurs coach's 1,911th regular season game. And if they lose, the Spurs would become 11-9 in their 11th home game. And it just 11-9, 11, 1-9, 1-1. It just has like a weird kind of vibe to it a little bit. And on top of that, the next game on Monday would be on the 19th day of the 11th month on the Hebrew religious. 19-11, 11-9, 11th home game. What else? Grizzlies could get their 6th win in a row today, beating the Spurs. They would sit on 6 losses for the season. The number 6 sums to 52, and today does have 52 date numerology on the Gregorian. It's also 36 date numerology on the Gregorian. 36 has a square root of 6. 6 times 6 is 36. So that could be in favor of Grizzlies. And then they can split the series 1-1, and then we'll know most likely Spurs are probably winning on Monday if they lose this game today. So this might be one of those wait-and-see games. And then whatever happens, you can probably smash it on Monday and knock it out of the park. In the 21st game on February the 1st, someone's going to go 2-1. Good possibility. So hopefully I've given you enough information here to kind of play with a little bit. I know, a lot of these numbers are swinging both ways. And then when you have a back-to-back game like this between these two teams, what can hit today can hit on Monday. And one thing I noted was Grizzlies haven't played a game since January 18th because of the whole COVID thing. So they haven't played a game for a while. I don't know if that's going to play a factor. Um, so keep that in mind. Yeah, I think that's it for this one. We'll keep it going. If you want to know what my pick is, it'll be on my Patreon, written, underlined, italicized. No big deal. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. Suns versus the Mavericks. The first game between these two for the season was the 175th all-time head-to-head matchup. The second time these two teams face each other this season, it just so happens to be on the 17th day of the 5th month on the Hebrew Civil. The reason why I say that stuff is because 77 sums to 175, and Mavericks are known for Luka Doncic, number 77. It's the reason why I picked the Mavericks to go 7-7 for the season when they had the chance, and it's the only reason. I think they played the Spurs. No, they played the Pacers, and I even wrote, if Pacers win, I have no idea why. All I know is I'm picking Mavericks just because the number 77 follows Mavericks, and then you have Luka Doncic, who wears the number 77. So here we have the Mavericks and the Suns playing their second head-to-head matchup on the 17th day of the 7th month. 77 sums to 175. And they opened up the season head-to-head against each other, playing their 175th. So this is their 176th. Let's see what's going on with these numbers. We already know the 9 pattern. 9 is in every single game. 9. Oh, wait, it's not in the Lakers and Celtics game. Okay. But it's in the Kings, Rockets, Hornets, and Blazers. Alright, so with the exception of the Lakers and Celtics game, we have the 9 pattern. So Suns, with the loss, can become 9-9 for a season record, as the Mavericks pick up their 9th win for the season. Mavericks would become 3-4 at home for the season with the win, like 34. 34 is the 9th Fibonacci number. And today has 36 date numerology on the Gregorian. 36 comes to 55. The Suns would become 5-5 on the road. The Mavericks would get their 75th regular season head-to-head win against the Suns. 75 is identical in 3 of the 4 base ciphers, with 36, 152, 53, and 55. I think we showed that with this one here. Spurs can potentially get their 75th regular season win as well. Mavericks today has 52 date numerology on the Gregorian. Mavericks coach can get his 522nd win regular season as a coach for Mavericks. Might be a bit of a stretch there with the extra 2, but it does have a 52 appearance, 52 date numerology. And Mavericks would sit on 11 losses for the season as they even the score against the Suns, becoming 1-1 head-to-head for the season. On the flip side, though, this is the Mavericks' 20th game of the season, and with the loss, they can become 2-0 or 0-2 against the Suns. The Suns would become 2-0 against the Mavericks. Almost identical to what potentially could happen to the Spurs. 20th game, they can become 2-0 against the Grizzlies. So, some of these things, I don't think every single pattern that's alike will play out. You got to pick and choose whatever you feel whatever you think fits best for the narrative. As you can see, there's both sides every single time. The number 20 sums to 107, and this is the 10th Suns game and the 7th Mavericks home game. 10th away game for the Suns and the Mavericks 7th home game, like 107. So there's that number there for sure. And then today is the 311th day on the Hebrew Religious. 311 is the 64th prime number. With the win, the Suns would become 6-4 on the road, like 64. What else? Mavericks, they are on a 4-game lose streak. They can either end their 4-game lose streak while sitting on 4 home losses, or they can get their 5th home loss for the season as they get their 5th loss in a row. Again, today with 36 date numerology on the Gregorian. 36 comes to 55. Has like a 5-5 effect. And then, of course, the number 20 does sum to 55 as well. And then in the 20th game, they can become 0-2 against the Suns. And they would get their 5th loss, fit that home, 5-5. All right, let's keep it moving. Pistons Warriors. Last game of the night. Again, the only game that doesn't have a 9 in it is the Celtics and Lakers game. Everything else does have a 9 in it. Today with 9-date numerology, the Warriors could sit on 9 losses with the win. Today has 72-date numerology. 72 sums to 168 and 102. And this is the Pistons coach's 168th regular season game as a coach for Pistons, and he can get his 102nd loss regular season as a coach for Pistons. Pistons would get their 15th loss for the season. 15 sums to 124 and 38. Today with 52-date numerology on the Gregorian, which sums to 124 and 38. However, on the flip side, let's keep it going with the Warriors still with the win. This is the Pistons' 20th game of the season and the Warriors' 20th game of the season. And the Warriors can sweep the Pistons 2-0, like 20, with a win. And then on the flip side, today does have 36-date numerology on the Gregorian. Warriors can become 7-5 at home with the loss. 75 sums to 152, 53, and 55. It's identical in 3 of the 4 base ciphers with 36. And Pistons would get their 151st all-time head-to-head win against the Warriors. 151 is the 36th prime number. Today has 166 date numerology on the Hebrew religious, and the Pistons would sit on 166 all-time losses against the Warriors as they get that 151st all-time win, the 36th prime number, today with 36 date numerology. What else? It is the 317th all-time head-to-head matchup between these two teams, and this would actually go against the Pistons. 317 is the 66th prime number. With the loss, the Pistons coach would sit on 66 wins regular season as a coach for Pistons, as he gets his 102nd loss in the 168th game. 72 date numerology, 168, 102. I'm actually going to mark that dark blue because that's not too shabby. Alright, so hopefully I've given you enough information on all 8 of these games, both sides of the coin. You're going to have to decide, is the Pistons going to prevail with the 136, not the 136, but 151, the 36 prime, or a Warriors going to clap that 20, 2-0, like 20. There's both sides here, 75 or 168, 102. 66, 317, 66 prime. So hopefully there's enough information here for you to make a pick on your own. If not, there should be enough information here for you to build on top of it. And if for whatever weird reason you want to know what I'm picking, you can join my Patreon. All my picks are in writing, underlined, and italicized. Hope everybody has a great Saturday. Thanks, guys.